Hello and welcome into the Sorare Data Show. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Joined today by PSU fans 2, Sean Newsham. Sean, what time is it?
1 p.m. Eastern.
What time did we say we were going to start?
1 p.m. Eastern. It's now 1:01 p.m. Eastern.
But we're already here.
We are. That is true.
We're already here. Today we're going to talk about more Rivals, including whether it can replace SO5, or at least that's what we said we were going to talk about to get you guys here. So, Kev Hurd, Sorare Juju, and ZM Star first in on the podium. Well done, guys. ZM Star not replacing SO5 when using commons is the best strategy. We'll get back to the commons thing as well. Trip and B first, way to be. Looking for food, hello. Elias thought we were late, but I don't know about that. Scosmo, hello. Blue Tomatoes, why no funny thumbnail photo of Sean? It's a good picture. I thought we should just use it over and over. That's all. Fuller, hello. Daniel Cooper. Mike Basson, wow. In time once, and we're never going to hear the end of it. I was the early one day last week. This is absurd. Just absurd. CEO, hello. Ryan Wilkinson, I don't even know what this is. For some reason, my streaming software doesn't show the actual emojis sometimes. So this literally says person turquoise waving. Yeah. So we'll just have to, we'll have to think of whatever that means. Quinny, hello. And Johannaton, Laird, you should start 1 minute before in order to please everyone. No, the shows are to please everyone. The time has nothing to do with it. Anyway, Sean, I was about to say you're all in on Rivals, but I think you're just short of all in.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
That is not true at all. There is no caution to that optimism, Sean.
No, there's caution to it. You don't see me buying a bunch of other cards. I just am buying some limiteds.
Okay.
I'm definitely more positive than your negative self, but
I'm not negative at all.
At least you didn't play on the weekend, so you couldn't comment my ass and be ahead of me on the leaderboard. So if you pull up the leaderboard right now, it's me ahead of you. So
I will do that. And Sean, I would have bet my mortgage that you were going to bring that up within 3 minutes of us starting.
Yeah, you brought it up. You were literally tweeting about it the other day.
Yeah. So Sean currently at 349. I'm at 308. Sean, I made a conscious decision this weekend to do something you would never do, which is why you got ahead of me.
No, actually, I left the house both days and still smashing your brains.
I literally don't believe you.
I did. Went to dinner and did something Saturday too, and I'm out there leaving the house, still embarrassing you on the effort level. It's just a sad day for Laird over there.
I guess so. 2 days, yeah.
Currently, I'm matched up against Nanzo because you guys
are the only ones up there with pro cards.
That's apparently that's who I'm just going to play. I played Pranksy yesterday. Did I tell you that one?
You did not, but I saw that. And nice win.
Yeah, played Pranksy, was behind him in literally every position because of the XP he had, and came out with the dub.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get into this, but lineup building sometimes more important than just the cards you got, Sean.
It is. I did a show with Quinny, and I did a part of a show with Quinny and Harry yesterday, and McBride showed up as well. But Quinny just thinks that it's just important to have the best lineup, which it is.
No, he's right about that. Yes,
he is. If you have the best lineup, you will win a lot of the time. But you could have the best lineup and still lose due to the bonuses that everyone else has.
Yeah, I think it's really a loaded discussion. There's no definite, is it better to play commons or not? Because your own gallery can make that decision moot. If you have the elite stack in super rare unique, and it's probably better to play. If you have the best players in the highest scarcity, you should play with your pro cards. So we're not saying that's when you should just play commons, but I think generally what we were saying in terms of why you should try to play as many commons as possible is because, at least the way that you and I think, we think we can build the best lineups.
Yeah.
And we know that most people don't. I hate to say it like that, but and again, that doesn't mean that Sean and I win every single matchup we have when we make these lineups, but we feel like the lineups that we make and Sean and I make fairly similar lineups that happen in DFS also, but like they're expected to win most of the time. Correct. And that's all you can do. And sometimes you just find somebody who luck boxes their way into 3 clearances off the line and you get an own goal. Like that stuff happens. But that's why we kept pushing for this whole like common versus common, because ideally we know what the best lineup is. And so we'll build that and expect other people not to.
I actually had a 1v1 on Saturday. Maybe not Saturday, maybe it was like Friday, where my guy had a negative decisive, his guy had a positive decisive, and it was a 1v1 and I won.
You had the negative decisive?
Yes.
I love that.
Because I love, my guy had a negative decisive, his guy had a positive decisive. My guy only lost by like 20, and then he picked Hoko Benita, and you know how that goes. And I had like, I think it was the gank. No, it wasn't the gank game. Although the gank game was funny too. So I was telling Quinny and them this yesterday. So I played the gank game, and the guy picked Hogo Benita with 6'8" Tolu, and I'm like, you got fun with that one. So I had
before you keep going though, like for those of you who don't know, Sean has like the gank cards that you would need.
I didn't have an edge. I'm pretty sure the gank game, whoever I matched up against, I was like pretty similar.
Okay.
I don't think I can find it anymore. If I can, like, I don't know how, because the UI is not good enough. But I'm pretty sure that I was like pretty close in like we'll say like 10%. Like it was like 10% difference. And we had a 1v1. Oh, can you find it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was evenish. Yeah, okay. So like it was like 15%. I had 15% edge. But we only had a 1v1, and it was Galarza versus Sor.
Yep.
But as you can see, he picked Tiki Taka, and Gank is not a Tiki Taka team. And Tolu was involved in like 25 duels himself. So I had 24 at half. I hit 24 at half. So I locked up the max bonus at half, and he was never going to hit that. So basically, like when half ended, it was basically like, does he get a goal from Sor? And if he gets a goal from Sor, then it's close. Oh, no. Oh, if Nanzo's here, I almost about buried you. And Dika just set up Sangare, and Sangare probably ended up with a BCM. Nanzo and I are discussing, because we have a 2v2 pretty much. And his guy got a decisive, but it was VAR'd away. It was clear. Like it was no doubter. But yeah, so anyways, that matchup happened. I was like, okay, that was a good one. But yeah, so I had a 1v1 in a game. I don't remember which one it was, or I would have you look it up. But I had a 1v1. I had a negative decisive. He had a positive decisive, and I won easily because he had he opted for no real chance at getting the tactics. So I basically just smashed him by 40 in the tactics department.
Yeah. So ZM Star said, would you say it's correct that tactics is the edge players need?
I mean, you got to get tactics. You got to do tactics correctly. There's like, did you see Scosmo defending Hogo Benito last night?
No.
Yeah, Scosmo was like, Hogo Benito is a solid strat. I'm like, all right, my man. But anyways, actually,
I think you pronounced the J. Isn't it like a Portuguese word?
I don't know. I don't care.
Benito?
I don't care. But anyways, I did look it up. I think there's like there's very few acceptable teams do, because the issue is like if you're gonna do it, you're just gonna do duels. So like most of the time you just go duels anyways, and it was like the like lone exception probably is when Man City plays and Doku starts, because Doku just like his contest one are like absurd, but even in that situation,
you can still get them with it.
Yeah, I was looking through stuff like Doku like wins like 12 contests, and then he also ends up with like 18 duels won. So like it doesn't matter, you're just picking that anyways. But like if you are playing and you are doing things incorrectly, you are going to likely get smashed. In Rivals. But so anyways, we've had a couple people discuss it. Alex discussed it. I saw someone on Twitter discuss it as well. But he said, I would get bored of Rivals replacing SO5. Yes. So for me, I don't think Rivals can replace SO5. I think it can be a secondary side game, which I think you pretty much alluded to last week with Keith, that you can have it as a side game, and I think it can be entertaining. And I think there's different things you can do with it. Like, I think you can, for example, turn into a time slot game where like all games that start at like 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday are in the same time slot, and you just are playing Rivals. So like you get all the lineups, you have 8 games to choose from, you can play your players, and that's interesting. And it's interesting because like if I want to watch a game, it definitely can make that game more interesting. Like I'm watching this AFCON game right now with Ivory Coast and Equatorial Guinea, and I would not watch it if it wasn't for Rivals. So I do think there's some potential for it to be like an offset side game that would be interesting. But I also do think like it can get boring because like in theory, and this is how it probably will go as people get better and improve at it, people will become better and will play the same lineup as everyone else because there will be like a lineup that like it's like this lineup is the best lineup. This is what you run. And especially at the higher elos, like to get to the higher elos, hopefully, it takes some skill and you will likely have to be good at choosing your lineups, choosing your tactics and all that stuff. Obviously, we are not there yet, and that's not how things are going, which we will discuss. But there's a lot of potential in this game mode. So I have a question for you, Laird, since we've discussed my perceived negativity from you in the Rivals game mode. That doesn't seem as apparent now as it was at one point. But so I had this discussion with Haber yesterday, and I've seen other people discuss it too. Haber thinks there's a 0% chance that Rivals becomes a relevant game mode with rewards different things. Do you agree with that? Or like if you had to put a percentage on it of like Rivals being a like legit game mode that people play to like win things and be interested, what's your thoughts?
I think it's higher than 0,
Yes.
but I think it's closer to 0 than it is even 50%.
No, I agree with that. I think if I had to lay a percentage, I would say it's like 10 to 20%.
Yeah, I'd be comfortable with 10, I guess. I think that there is fundamentally a cap on the number of people who can enjoy and reasonably compete in a single game format. When you have a platform that gives you game pieces up to 10 a season of a single player. Like at some point, if they're saying like, hey, we're going to have a monster Rivals game, contest for some Bayern Munich match, and there are only so many people who can have like a Kimmich rare, let alone a Kimmich super rare. And so I really don't think that there is a reasonable way for them to build a single game competition that both rewards that provides a big reward and has enough people who think they can win it. Like if you have a big competition and you realize that you have a 0.0001% chance to win it, I'm not sure that many people get excited about it. And then you have that problem effectively with like every big team that they will do it with. They're like, hey, it's the Man City match, or they do it for big matches like El Clasico. But again, it's like, then it's just people who have Real Madrid and Barcelona cards. And I'm not to say that I don't think there's like a 0% chance that you'll be able to win something because of a Rivals matchup. But I don't see how that scales, to be honest.
Yeah, so that's not how I would scale it. The way that I would scale it would be leaderboards. And like I think that the streaks are good. I think that people are winning cards. It's not like people aren't winning cards. If I win cards, if I hit this 5 streak and I win cards, I'm gonna be pissed, by the way.
It's funny how that like there is a very clear not a disconnect, but a very clear difference of opinion of at some point you have so many cards where you're like, no, I actually want arena tickets. Like people are like, oh, I got to 5 and I won 10 arena tickets. This sucks. Yeah. And you're like, I would kill for 10. And somebody wins like a $40 limited. And you're like, I don't need that. But they're like, this is sweet. I won $40. And
Yeah.
so I think that's actually really good that
I do
they have
too.
found like both to be
Yeah,
winning.
like and I've seen Nanzo won a card. Nanzo was not happy about it. He told me he wanted limited earlier. I was like, I hope I don't want limited. But the way that I would scale it would be, which we talked about, is we would have separated leaderboards, whichever way you separate them, and then you have a month-long leaderboard contest or week-long, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do is fine. And you give like a set amount of ETH for that month. And so if you want to make it as fair as possible, you just have a set number of tickets. And let's say everybody gets 2 a day. And that's like what you get. So like you have to claim them, and then you have to use them per day. And that's how it works. The issue with that, I guess, is that I don't think that people, I think incentivizing people to like buy cards and to refer things is good. Like so I'm not like, if you actually get someone to refer someone and get someone on the platform, like I'm fine giving a ticket or something with that, with an exception of like, obviously you can't be exposed or use blah. You can't be like manipulating it so that you're getting a load of cards and you're just sort of like multi-counting or something like that. Obviously wouldn't work, but I would be okay with that. And then what I would do is, like I said, so I'm using a random number. I'm picking this out, but it's probably close-ish. So they give out 1,000 ETH in thresholds a month. Let's say you take away 5% of that and you give it to the rivals. And all of a sudden you have a rivals leaderboard where like there's 2 separate leaderboards. The common one gets 5 ETH. The other one gets 20 ETH. And all of a sudden, if you finish in the top 100, you get like 0.1 ETH. And then if you finish like top 10, you get 0.35 ETH. And then all like up to the top guy wins like 3 ETH or something. That creates some interest and some excitement from people. And I don't think you have to give you don't have to give like 50 ETH to the winner. Like you give like 3, 4, 5 ETH or whatever, even 1. Like if you give something like that, people are going to be incentivized to play it and excited. And if you have 2 separate game modes, then people can play the free to play one. They can still go and try to get their chunk of whatever, and they're on an even playing field with everyone in that situation. And then you also have the pro leaderboard where you can try to move your way up the pro leaderboard. Obviously, like we talked about, I think if I was doing stuff, I would want to see a Nanza. If you're here, Kwame should have definitely just gotten a red for that elbow to the face. But if you get like 4 leaderboards and you split up 50 ETH or 100 ETH, like let's say you split up 100 ETH, and all of a sudden like those 4 leaderboards, like you can pick and choose which leaderboard you're going to play on, and you're going to be able to sort of decide where you want to play because you think you have a better chance to compete there. So if you are competing at the highest level, then obviously you're going to want to compete at the highest leaderboard where you maybe are competing against less people, and you can win more, but it's going to be a lot harder. Like for me to like compete against Nanzo, it's going to be really difficult. Whereas like for me to compete against, Kawame, big miss. And then if you sit there and you're like, all right, I can't really compete at the top leaderboard, I'm going to play commons. Then you can play commons and you can still win a chunk of ETH, and you're at an even playing field with everyone. So it gives everybody a carrot to chase. And it's not massive in terms of like what they're paying out now. Again, it's the whole what they're going to do with the threshold, where they're going to go. But anyways, I think that's how I would scale it. What's your thoughts on that scaling option?
I just really struggle to see them rewarding ETH or cash from rivals. And maybe I just need to get over that.
But why? Why do you struggle to see that?
Because I think that the way that you describe it makes it like at some point you are you're de-incentivized, less incentivized, whatever, to like expand. Like you're actually better off just constantly making your current cards better and stacking and making sure that that you have like the best cards for certain games. Like it's actually quite limiting for most users in terms of how they can compete.
Then open it up and play more games, and like force people to play like 3 games, 4 games a day on average. So like you have to play more games. So like if you cannot play 4 games at the highest level, then maybe you're going to play the 3rd level, and then you're going to try to get up to the 4th level because the prizing is better up there, or something like that.
No, yeah, I get that part, and I feel like that at least kind of feels like it's the same progression that we see, not like actual progression, but how we have like a rare plus, super rare, unique, and like the best prizes are in the unique division, or at least the biggest prizes. And I struggle to see how it fundamentally works, to be honest. Like of how many games you have to play each week, the calendar is kind of off. Like what happens if you have a ton of Bundesliga cards and then they're off for for a weekend, and you're like, oh, I literally cannot compete this week.
Then you should then you don't do it as a monthly leaderboard, do it as like a weekly leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean this in the nicest way. The idea sounds like it comes from somebody who has a ton of cards everywhere.
No, that's fair. But all right, how would you scale it then? Because like Trip and B,
I don't know. Well, I think you just don't. I think that Rivals is just not the game that needs to scale.
Yeah, but okay, then Rivals is dead and pointless then in that situation. And
absolutely.
I'm going to disagree. Well, if you're going to say that Rivals is like the introductory to get people on the platform, I don't think that's the case. I don't think Rivals is the game mode to like get people to come on the platform and be excited and want to buy cards. Because like that goes to the same thing. Like if you don't have a hook and you do not incentivize people to get excited after Rivals, and the way they're going to get excited by Rivals is by winning stuff, whatever that is, how do you expect people to grow and want to play the game further?
Well, they're winning cards in Rivals in order to play.
Okay, but that's fine. So how are they winning cards then? You can take out ETH or cash. Like, how are they going to win cards?
I think
don't tell me they're going to win a loot box and win a tier 4 limited and tell me that that's like going to incentivize people to want to buy rares and super rares and uniques and play.
I think the jump from winning a limited to I want to buy rares and super rares is so big. Like the time that most people take to get there is so big that it's almost like two completely unrelated parts of Sorare.
Correct. So what is the point of Rivals in your view?
I think it's to get people to know what Sorare is and play a different fantasy football game.
But it is different than SO5.
Sure.
You think Rivals is there to get people to know that there's a new game, but like, what is the hook? What is
I think the misunderstanding is that every new Rivals user is going to become a pro user. I think that's what the idea is, and it's like there's no way that's the case.
But I'm still asking the question, like, what is your hook as Laird? That based on what you just said, what is your hook to get people to play to buy cards?
It's to play their real competition. Hey, you know that $40 card that you just won? You can use that and four others and play a competition where you can actually win prizes.
To win cards that are worth shit because no one cares.
But nobody knows. New users don't know that. They just won a $40 card. That Julian Brandt that like it feels like thousands of people have won somehow.
No, I mean I disagree. I think that the way you're describing it is you're getting people to come on the platform, play something that does not hook them at all. And that's not interesting.
I mean, there are plenty of people who are playing the game and having fun with it. Like that's the hook.
They're having fun with it because they're just like, we're in like the early stages of it. We're like, a lot of people that are having fun with the idea that like this could be a new game mode that is interesting.
I think that's why you're playing and why you have
more people than just me that are playing it for that reason.
Sure. But also I think fundamentally the game is not meant for you.
But again, okay, so the game's not meant for me. The game's not meant for new users. The game, because I disagree. I don't
know it is.
It's not.
The game is meant to bring in new users.
Rivals is playing people that you know and like are on the platform and like your friends or people that like Rivals is for me to play Nanzo and for bragging rights on something, not for me to come on the platform and just all of a sudden, yeah, I got a rival, baby, let's go. That's not how it just doesn't function like that. So I don't think Rivals is a game mode that is like interesting in that version.
Like to me, I agree that you would not find that interesting.
Yeah, but like, how do you think that is? How do you view Rivals in your brain as something that is going to get people to deposit hundreds of dollars onto Sorare? That's what I'm asking. You don't have an answer for that.
It's the free way to win a card. And the free card is what gets you in.
Yeah, the free card that doesn't matter because you're just not going to play anymore.
Not going to play what anymore?
You're just not incentivized to keep playing after that card. Like, you get that card and then it's just like you sell it and then that's it. There's no incentive to buy more cards. There's incentive to just sell whatever card you want and call it a day.
I think we're going to have plenty of people who do that, and I think that's fine. And that
Literally,
there are going to be a
yeah,
certain number. There are going to be a certain percentage of those users who then look at what the pro competitions are and say, "Oh, if I bought 4 more cards, then I can play Champion Europe." And it takes them 6 months to realize that you can't win that way. But that literally, that's how you get people to come in. I think you're still
come in and you're not incentivizing them to stay and actually be part of the platform. You're just incentivizing them to come in, win their thing, get $20 cards, sell the $20 card, and rinse repeat. And they're not incentivized to buy cards at all because the other game mode is not incentivizing.
I think you're grossly underestimating how excited people get to win Tier 5 limiteds.
No, I'm not. I'm literally not. I'm literally saying those people are going to win the Tier 5 limited, sell it, win a Tier 5 limited in Rivals again, sell it, win a Tier 5 rival again in Rivals, sell it, and never buy more cards because there's no incentive to buy more cards.
Okay, so that's I'm not talking about winning Tier 5 limiteds in Rivals. I'm talking about keeping their card that they won or selling it and buying 5 other cards with that money and playing that in limited pro competitions.
Yeah,
that's where they play because they're incentivized to win cards there, where it's easier to win cards instead of more arena tickets.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah, I don't buy into this.
Like a month ago, not even 2 weeks ago, the idea of Rivals was always the onboarding. Like, that's why you didn't play, because you were like, there are no rewards. It doesn't matter. Yeah. They're just getting it from new people. And now we think we've made up that like they're going to give ETH one day. And
no, I'm not making up that they're going to give ETH. I want you to give me a reason why people are going to play Rivals and then buy cards. And you have yet to give me that. That's the problem. You think you're giving it to me, but you're not.
I think enough people who win cards, free cards in Rivals, will then make pro lineups with those cards to play the actual fantasy game.
No, I disagree.
I believe that.
That was a nice goal. Ivory Coast just scored. It was a really nice goal. Was that your center? Was that your fullback?
Alex said, what happens when they buy cards and then get matched up against Wales and get hammered? Where's the incentive after that?
Yeah, I mean, you just killed Rivals. Like, as soon as they have a card and they're like, oh, I got a card, I'm going to play it. You just lose. You just lose.
So what's the incentive to keep playing?
Nothing, because you sell that card because you don't want to have cards and you keep playing Rivals for free. If you have a card, it's bad. If you're an all-common guy with one card, it's bad.
But this is like going against your, like, people will, like, if Rivals has prizes, then they should want to buy cards.
If Rivals has prizes and you give better prizes to people that have cards instead of people that just play the common game, it incentivizes people to buy cards because they want a chance at the better prize pool.
Right, but if they win that card and now they're in pro competitions and getting blasted, what's the incentive? Like, you think they're more likely to keep playing Rivals and buy more cards to play Rivals instead of...
That's why I said I would have... That's why I said I would have multiple different leaderboards. I would have it like segmented into like 4 leaderboards, because like you can buy, like, if you go from like the 0 to 50% lineup, they only need like 2 limiteds. They can realistically play in that and compete for minimal money. Like you can spend like $10 in certain games and get the cards you need to like realistically compete at the lower level. Or like you can literally buy a full lineup in a lot of games of limiteds for $100. So like if you have like 3 leaderboards, or 4 leaderboards, which is like common only, 0 to 50, or like just, I mean, don't do 0 to 50, just do like up to 100. Like, people can legitimately buy, they can buy these cards for $100. Like $100, you can buy like a full lineup in some spots. For sure. Yeah. So like it's not a big step to go from like the bottom to like level 2 to like if you have 4 levels and you go from like level 0, level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4, like getting to level 1 might be pretty easy and you are incentivized to do that. And then from there, like getting to level 2 might be reasonable. And then you might want to do that. And then all of a sudden you go from level 3 to 4, and then you're at the top level and you can realistically compete to some extent.
And that's
and
easier
like I said, like another issue with the current situation of Sorare is like users are not excited that are currently on the platform. Like a lot of people are not. Like I'm excited about Rivals. Nanzo is excited about Rivals. Gator Guy's excited about Rivals. Like Surface is excited about Rivals. Like these people are excited about Rivals. So you can't tell me it's an onboarding thing when a lot of big people that have quite a few cards, like Pranksy is playing Rivals every single slate. Like there's lots of people that are interested in Rivals that are not new onboard people that are just coming onto the platform. And to not capitalize on that to me is a mistake.
Not capitalize on those people playing?
Not capitalizing on those people being interested, the new people coming onto the platform being interested. Like there's lots of incentive to me to like get people excited about the platform again and get people wanting to buy cards. Like I've been buying limited cards, like get me to buy rare cards, get me to buy super rare cards. Trip and B, you're not excited about Rivals. You are, but you're not. I'm not going to give you credit for being excited about Rivals.
There's a lot going on in the chat. But I do like this point from Ryan that said it's way easier for new users to pick up Rivals than the pro comps. Like fundamentally, it's an easier game.
Getting new users on the platform is fine. If you have absolutely no way to move them from the free-to-play game to the not free-to-play game, it does not matter. Like it's the same thing that happened in the World Cup shit. They got a lot of free-to-play users, and they had no way to move those people over to the pro mode. And this is just not a way to get people over to the pro mode. It's just not as of yet. It could be.
Yeah. Philly Dilly says, if I'm new via Rivals and I win a couple limiteds and find out I can win ETH via buying new cards in pro, I might make a deposit to keep going.
And then you realize, Philly Dilly, that because you bought cards, you get absolutely obliterated. And that was the biggest mistake you could make. So you sell all of your cards so you don't have any anymore.
No, you could just go play Cap 240. You can win ETH that way.
What if they get rid of the ETH there? What if they move it elsewhere?
You think, Sean, they would never get rid of thresholds. Do you think it's a problem?
Someone needs to clip that and then replay it next week or something.
Right. Yeah. When is February? Do you think it's a problem? Like the idea is if you win a card and you're like, man, I should buy more cards to get better at Rivals. Is it a negative at all that you basically are not you're forced, but if you're only buying a few cards, you're effectively forced to buying just like one team?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't buy. I mean, if you're buying cards, you have to be on the same team or something so you can like realistically make a lineup.
That's what I mean. So,
yeah.
But is that bad? Like that feels bad to me that you're just like, hey, I really like whatever it is, but like you're buying cards that effectively you can only use for like one Rivals game a week.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just think that, that was a nice free kick goal. Ivory Coast is going to go out here in the group stage to Equatorial Guinea. Interesting. Again, we talked about like the idea should be you have multiple leaderboards and you aspire to move up the leaderboards and progress, one of our favorite words, into the higher levels and play higher competition so that you can win more. Like you can spend $100 in a lot of spots and get a full lineup for a game of Rivals. That seems pretty great if you actually offered leaderboards and like had one of the leaderboards be like 100 max points, because then people are going to be incentivized to like buy a full limited team of people. It could really help limiteds. And then if you do the next one up where it's like 125 points, like you could incentivize people to buy rares and stuff. Like there's just a lot of interest in it that could be worthwhile if there's merit to that. All right, so let me ask you another question.
I think you're right. It's the short-term process after you join is extremely limiting in how much you can play. Obviously, you can keep playing the commons, but like if you want to progress up, like you really need to just stay with one team and
Yeah. But
I don't know. I don't know how they solve that.
no, but I mean, like they buy one team, then you buy another team, then you buy another team. Yes.
Joe was asking if anyone's actually bought cards for Rivals.
Literally people that are not
People,
buying cards for any other reason. Myself, Nanzo, are buying these cards for this. Like, because we are excited by the potential of Rivals and what it could be.
Server said every path that Laird has said should be an avenue to a new user participating. Sounds like it involves tricking them. I don't know what I said that.
I read that earlier from him and I didn't fully understand it. Oh, Deco just said that most third places still advanced because of the awful format they have. So okay, maybe Ivory Coast won't get eliminated. I'm not familiar enough with the situation on that, but no, I mean, I just like, you have people interested. Would you agree right now? People are interested by Rivals.
Absolutely.
You need to capitalize on that. Capitalizing on that is not just being like, hey guys, this game mode's a pile of shit. Forget about it. We're not going to do anything. That's not what you should be doing. And I also think that like the way that they're doing Rivals is like they have loot boxes and stuff. You don't need to have like, well, Ivory Coast now down 3-0. That's not ideal. So like it's a situation where you should be taking advantage of this. You should be taking advantage of the hype on this. And this is a legit game mode that you can scale to some extent if you want to. It's just a matter of if they want to. If they don't want to, then we just go back into another, this game mode sucks. What's the point of it? And I do not agree that it's a great onboarding tool if it's not interesting. If it's interesting, it's a fantastic acquisition tool, because if people have the chance to win like $100, like if you play the common and you can get loot box and you can win like a card worth like 40-50 bucks, great, it's fantastic. That's like super exciting. People are going to be interested in that. So to me, it's a spot where like there's definite chances to be able to acquire and keep and retain new users. And that to me is worth looking at making it into a game mode that legitimately is of interest.
So do you think there's a reasonable path? I mean, it sounds like you do, that somebody could come in to play Rivals and never play SO5?
Yes, I do think that is a possibility.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a definite possibility that people could do. And it really, like, a lot of people only want to watch certain teams, and this is a much better way to have to do that. Because if you only want to play Bayern Munich slate, you can only play the Bayern Munich slate if you want to.
Right.
Like, obviously, you can't just play the Bayern Munich slate from that perspective, but like, you can only play Premier League teams, right? Like, you could just play Premier League games, and like that's what you're doing. So like, I think, yeah, so Nanzo said it's just another game mode, albeit a damn good one if they get it right. I agree 100% with that. That's literally my entire vision of it right now. And that's what, like I've said, like that's why I'm interested in playing it as seriously as I can at the moment, because if it's a game mode that has like that sort of interest in it, like that's really interesting to me longer term. So
two comments here I just wanted to point out. ZM Star says the best thing about Rivals is not getting optifucked, which is hilarious, because usually you can get optifucked like mid-game and they don't fix it for like another day.
Yeah.
And in Rivals, you will end up fucked in that situation. Blue Tomatoes, the reward should be lower than in pro comps. Otherwise, why should you switch over to pro? And pro limited stars are already very cheap. I think that's kind of what I said before, what I was asking Sean. Like, maybe you never have to switch over.
Well, I think one, yes, you don't have to switch over. Also, two, I think the way that it's set up, you can have the prize pool be very interesting and not give as much out as what you do in the pro comps. Because like with the loot boxes, like if you give out, and again, like you don't think this is gonna happen. I'm not saying it's gonna happen because I have no idea. But like, say you give out a star rare in a loot box and you give out like 0.1% chance at a star rare, 0.01. People still think they have a shot at it, even though they're never going to get it. And then someone's going to get it and tweet about it. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I got to take this super seriously, because they have the carrot. It's all about the carrot. You got to incentivize and lure people in. So like, they could realistically turn this into a game mode where it's just purely like you earn loot boxes, and within the loot boxes, you win whatever you win. And that's going to be incredibly interesting, because what you can win on the loot boxes, everybody can win with the loot box. So like, you winning a 1-game streak could get you a loot box. or a 3-game streak gets you a loot box. Whereas like finishing high in leaderboard gets you 20 loot boxes and you have more of a chance to get shit. And instead of giving out 15 rares, they don't have to give out 15 rares. They give out 1 rare, but like nobody knows exactly how many rares they're giving out. So like people realize that they have incentive to get stuff because maybe you get that rare, maybe you get it, or maybe you have a good shot at getting it. Because like I can't guarantee if I finish first, I can get like whatever the top prize is, but like I know if I finish first month after month or something and they give out decent prizes for that, I can actually win something that maybe has some interest in it.
So you talking through that made me think of this, and this is going to sound kind of offensive. Not to you, Sean. I think there is a possibility that Sorare created Rivals to be this onboarding game and never really thought that it could be a companion game, or yeah, I guess we'll call it that. And are hearing all of this, not just our conversation, but like other places that people are talking about Rivals, and just being like, oh, maybe we might have like fallen into something great here.
Yeah.
And that they've actually thought of none of this until now. And that now is when they start figuring out how to make Rivals a legitimate game on its own, which I say because it's going to take a while for like all of that to work out.
Yeah. So, all right. So 1, I agree with that. 2, Sorare, if anyone's listening and you want to hire me, I'm available. So come hire me and I can help you come up with a good plan for this, because I have lots of ideas. I obviously have experience there. So if anyone's listening, Nico, come talk to me. Go ahead, Laird.
Would you take that job knowing you could not play?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. At this point, I'm fine with that. Like I've played enough. It takes a lot of my time, and with the baby, like obviously you want to spend more time with the baby. You want to do other stuff. And I would do it. Yeah, for sure. Well, yes. But so anyways, back to the discussion that I was just having and sort of the points I was having. I think they have a runway that could let them have 6 months with this. I think they could slowly develop it over 6 months and have it ready for the next European season. And I think they have enough leeway that they can get it right. They have to fix the leaderboards because the leaderboards right now are so stupid with how it works. But like, I think you could get away.
Do you realize how short 6 months really like actually is?
It's not though. I understand it, but it's not. Like if you want this to be a massive thing, like you have to figure it out, and you have 6 months. Your window is by the start of next European season, and I think you agree with that. Would you agree?
No.
You think it's just long? They can just put up a pile of shit forever, and they'll be fine.
I think they end up rushing something that ends up not being right.
Just yeah, but I'm not saying they should rush it. I think they should take 6 months and figure out what they should come up with.
Oh, I mean, they can take 6 months to figure it out, but then it takes much longer than that to actually.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I think that they can get away with some of that stuff longer term. So for me, like, I think that you could have, you need to fix the leaderboards. That's horrendous. Like, that's just horrendous, the leaderboards right now. I don't think there's no like way around this that the leaderboards need fixed, but they can get away with giving just loot boxes, I think, for a while, and then they can like give a slight amount of ETH. And if they give away a slight amount of ETH and loot boxes for a while, I think it can tide them over, as long as they like give a bigger carrot. Like you can't just have like, all right, after you win 5 games or 7 games, you're just done and you just can't get anything. So like they need to have a leaderboard for you need to give stuff to like people that finish high up the leaderboard. And I do see the daily stuff is coming. So like that could be interesting too. But they have, I think, 6 months to figure out what they can do. And I think over that 6 months, they can fix the leaderboards. That shouldn't be difficult. That should have been fixed already. All you guys that play the beta, like, I don't know how, did that not happen in the beta?
I didn't play enough to even care.
All right, well, if you guys play the beta and that was the case and nobody brought that to their attention, then that's on beta testers as well. Not me, because I didn't play it, and I'm not blaming myself for that one. But
yeah, you blame Nanzo. Nanzo played a ton.
Yeah, Nanzo. Why you just thought you would just ride to the top forever?
So I don't know if enough people didn't even realize it, but like Nanzo has the pro cards everywhere and finished first. So it feels like it almost like it worked during the beta, and that's why they didn't consider this. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyways, all right. So I think what they need to do, fix leaderboard, and then give a carrot for the next 6 months, like give 10 ETH to a leaderboard over the like give a monthly leaderboard of like 10 ETH, and over the next 6 months, you figure that's not good enough long term. That's good enough for the time being to keep people interested in playing it, to keep me interested in playing it, keep Nanzo interested in playing it, keep Joe Schmo, who just came on the platform, interested in playing it, possibly moving into the pro mode at that time because of being an interest. So Surface said in the beta, everyone had pro cards. Okay, that's well, I guess too in the beta, like you weren't trying to play with like common cards because that just made no sense. So that was probably something that just didn't get caught or thought of in the beta.
No, I'm pretty sure you could play with commons and.
Yeah, but I'm saying like so Sam probably is not just sitting there being like, I have all commons, I'm going to play common lineup, because he didn't know probably that if you didn't have common cards or if you had all commons, you'd only play commons. He probably didn't know that. So
It might not have even been the case, to be honest.
Yes, like it just might have not been a thing that was known because no one really like put 2 and 2 together. Whereas like now more people are playing and it is.
Right. To prove how little I put into it, I finished the beta with 130 arena tickets.
I never got an invite, so
right. Scosmo, where did that go? Flip side. How do we know they haven't built this with the intention of making this a huge game and are iterating and rolling it out?
We don't. They could. I mean, I definitely think
full
that, like,
hashtag trust the team on this one.
Yeah. I just think there's a lot to this game mode that could be really good. And I think they can get away with a lot of shit that they can make this game mode a great companion game mode where they just give out a fraction of what they give out elsewhere. And I think that's obviously a huge incentive. Because like, do you agree with that of like you can give out a fraction of what they give out elsewhere and people are going to be interested in it if they do like loot boxes and stuff?
Sure.
Yeah. Like, so to me, that's like a big thing where I just think that's very interesting.
So I think there are just basically two issues that I think they need to figure out. One is one of the kind of, I look at it as a benefit of SO5 is that you're not glued to your phone or computer 7 days a week. And so because Rivals is like it's not even a daily game. It's like a single match game. And they obviously have these daily missions. Like, I don't think, and I know this sounds really weird, I don't think that you should win just because you play every day.
No, I agree. I think there needs to be some skill, which we'll talk about here in a second. But like, I agree with that. Like, I knew this game was happening, the Ivory Coast game, and I knew I had some key cards that would make sense that I would play this game because I'm on my streak. I forgot about it. And then I was sitting on the toilet taking a poop. And then I was like, oh, this game's lineups came out. And I spent 5 minutes making my lineup because the lineups came out. I wouldn't have to spend any time on my computer. I could just look the day before and be like, these are the games I'm interested in, set my alarm, check the lineups for those 5 games on a Saturday. But yeah, so here's our current issue with the leaderboards and stuff. And first of all, I want to say I'm not trying to like shit on people that are just playing commons right now, because like I'm a big fan of this and you can attest to this. I'm always going to be the person that finds the edge in whatever the game is. Like, that's just the person I have always been, because I like to think about strategical stuff and come up with like things like that. So like for me, I was able to come up with the idea that like playing commons and stuff is very favorable, and that's like a good way to do things, and like that's a good way to approach Rivals. So no hate on anyone doing stuff, but like I looked, so did I tell you? So Nacho Harris is currently first in the leaderboard, and to be first leaderboard, you still have to have some skill. Like, you can't just like throw out some poop and win. You have to actually like still beat some people, but like at the same time, it's obviously not as difficult as other options. So anyways, how many games do you think Nacho played from Friday through Sunday?
I have absolutely no idea.
33.
Yeah, see, like that. I don't think that you should be significantly rewarded for volume.
Right. So, and the issue is that so he played 33, and I think he went like 19 and 14. So he played 33 matches.
Absolutely wild that you know this, by the way.
Well, I looked it up because I was interested. And
no, but like I know the UI, and this must have taken way too long.
No, it took me like 2 minutes. The UI is okay if it's not yours. If it's not yours, you can scroll down and it'll tell you how many people played. So anyways, Nacho has played He played 33 matches and was 19-15. I played 10 and was 8-2. So I won 8 versus 2. So I was a net +6. He was a net +5, and he probably put up a bit more.
You get more points for wins than
his rep. If like you like,
you
so some of my rep was still at like 20 because I was still like under 300, which is like, so it wasn't like fully accurate. But like, if you go 1-1, like let's say you win one, you lose one at his level, you're gaining like 8 points in rep and losing 5. So like every 2 games you play, if you go 1-1, you're like +3. He had 33 matches. If I played all my tickets this weekend, I would have been like at 18. And I think he's getting a lot of referrals, which is great. So like no argument with that. But like the fact that you just have 2 separate leaderboards that are like that, and it's just like, this is really stupid when I cannot possibly stay up with someone like that, because like I cannot play that many. I can't play that many matchups because I have cards, and if you have cards, you just have to be selective. Like I played the Real Madrid game yesterday, and I was at a massive disadvantage because I played against Pranksy. Yeah, Nanzo said I could only play 4 tanks thanks to his shitty loot box. So yeah, so Pranksy getting a limited card in his loot box made it so he couldn't play more than 4 Nanzo. So it's just like, there are things that like, there should just be separate leaderboards that, again, have differences. And like, there needs to be a way to like incentivize people to play, but not fully like bury people because they have cards. Like we've talked about, like having cards should not be a bad thing. That just shouldn't.
Absolutely. Scosmo said, I think their divisions might be coming. First time I noticed the 2 options of my division and top 100. That's been there for
my division is just your friends.
Is the people that you follow. Yeah. And the top 100, I'm guessing, is just so they don't have to load tens of thousands of lineups on
something like that. Like so it's just like, I don't know. Like I think this game mode is great, and I think that should be a penalty. Was that on the box? But yeah, it's just like, I think there's so much with this game mode that's really interesting. Like I think you should have coins be able to buy arena tickets, maybe long-term money, be able to buy arena
I'd like to sell arena tickets.
If they sold arena tickets for actual money and like you actually had rewards, so like you're incentivized to buy tickets, that's interesting.
No, I don't want to buy them. I want to sell them.
I would buy. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, think about it like that too, though. If like you could buy 10 arena tickets for $10,
I think there's an expectation that happens, despite it being just blatantly buying entry fees into a contest. But
yeah, but I'm kind of okay with that. Like anything that's like forcing people to play and put money on, because like if you buy an arena ticket for $1, it doesn't guarantee you go upwards. You could go down. If you lose, you go down. So it's like not guaranteeing you go upwards.
By playing, you mean?
Yeah. Like if you buy 10 arena tickets, it doesn't guarantee you go upwards in rep. You could go down.
I mean, it's like it's like submitting an entry fee into DraftKings and losing. There's no the fact that you can lose is actually the problem.
Well, yeah, but I'm okay.
Like that's where it falls into gambling or fantasy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, I know you don't think they're gonna sell stuff, but if they did, like, that would be interesting to me.
Service is saying the other way. He said, the more I think about it, the less I think you should be able to buy tickets. That would allow volume to beat out skill unless it was prohibitively expensive per ticket.
Well, I'm hoping once you get to the higher elo, it's like 5 rep for a win, 5 rep for a loss type of things. Something where it's like dead even if you like are under 50%, you're gonna do worse. Because like, I mean, that in theory, like you should be hard to win at the highest elos. Like it should be like you should not be winning every time.
I mean, nobody should be winning every time.
Correct.
GS says, so pay to win and separate leaderboards for high rollers is what Wales suggests in exchange for hiring him as an expert.
I wouldn't be a whale at that time. I wouldn't be a whale anymore. I'd be gone.
That's right.
No, I mean, I don't really care about the pay to buy arena tickets thing. Like, I don't really care about that one. That one I don't think's a thing that matters. The thing that I think is bad right now is that like having cards is bad. I don't think that's a good thing.
Isn't the simplest way just to reward more points for winning pro competitions?
What?
Isn't the easiest way to change that to give you more points for a pro win versus a common win?
Yeah.
Like you can keep the same leaderboard.
Yeah.
And just
But
30
then
points for a pro win versus 10 for 20.
Yes, but in that situation, like the common people cannot win. So Carl said
No, they
limited
just
was
have to
meant
play
to be
50
an
times a
entry
week.
level. Carl said limited was meant to be an entry level to play pro, but it isn't. And Rivals is meant to be a tool to onboard new users, but feels like it's just the usual faces playing and winning. That's incredibly wrong. Limited is literally the entry level to play pro. You just aren't interested in it because it's very low stakes, which means you should be playing higher than that, but maybe you're not. But like limited is definitely the entry level to play pro. It's just the rewards aren't super exciting.
Yeah.
And arena is what?
I don't know. I almost don't understand why limited is not the entry level to play.
It is. It's because people aren't interested in it because the prize pools are so small.
Sean, thousands of people are interested.
Okay. Some people are not interested because
you are not interested.
No, he's not. This is Carl, not me. Carl is not interested.
That's fair.
Carl is not interested. I also am not interested, but that's because I'm not interested in entry level. I'm interested in higher limits, not entry level stuff.
Phoenix Golf said the arena teased me into buying an NEC stack and limited. Rivals arena scratches that DFS itch and runs nicely next to the normal mode.
Yeah, but so the issue, Phoenix Golf, is you should have just not bought cards and played a common lineup instead. So like that's where the current issue is. Like you did that, but that was a mistake on your end. Like you shouldn't have done that. You should have just played commons and ran the same lineup you would have ran with the limiteds, except for just all commons, because then you would have guaranteed been on the same level as every one of your competitors instead of potentially behind them.
But now they can rip that NEC stack into Cap 240 and win $5 this weekend. Let's go.
Yeah, but that's not really something he's talking about because he didn't say that, Laird. He didn't say he bought it to play pro. He brought it to play Rivals, which goes to the point of like Rivals is interesting to people right now. Also, yeah, to the this is something that's terrible discussion earlier, and like the worst part of SO5 being OptiFucked. The worst part of SO5 is DNPs. And this game mode completely removes the worst part of that. It removes the two worst things when it comes to sober DNPs, and then also having to spend countless hours on it. Like it literally turns you into like you pick and choose how much time you want to spend, and you are spending you're spending like 5 minutes and you don't have to eat DNPs.
It's funny how many people realized that after, like once they started playing and they were like, oh my God, we'll never have a DNP.
Yeah.
And you're just like, pretty nice, huh?
Also, yeah, so Nanzo said there are very different people at the top of the Rivals leaderboard, Carl. Yeah, if you think the same old people that are winning like every division are the guys that are at the top of the Rivals leaderboard who literally do not own a pro card, that is not accurate.
I noticed that guy is falling now. He's down to 12th, I think, or actually 13th. Excuse me.
The one Nacho's the same as that dude.
I think Nacho plays. Nacho has his own cards.
Mike Baston said he has seen plenty of DNPs. Well, yeah, if people suck ass, then they're going to get DNPs, but that's on them for being terrible.
So that cannot be ignored. That there are lots of people playing this game who are very bad at it and don't wait for lineups, and they're just like, oh yeah, I'll play this game later. Set their lineup and leave and never look again. And then they see they lose and they're like, whatever. And then
keep like this guy that just played an Ivory Coast game, Nanzo, where I beat him and have never lost to him in Rivals Arena. This guy, pretty terrible. Like he played this Kuwami guy who just like got subbed and got a yellow card. So like guys like that Nanzo guy, like they're pretty bad at this.
Yeah. I'm looking like Nacho mostly plays commons, but he has definitely played pro. I say that and I found one and now all I see is common. So maybe
he has like 4 pro cards, Laird.
Nacho?
I don't think he has very many cards.
No. Nacho has where are we here?
Dude, Nanzo has like nothing, Laird. He has 11 rares and 3. He probably sold them all for Rivals.
Maybe.
I'm actually going to look at this, Laird.
I was going to say maybe. Did we just fall into this?
Nacho.
I thought no, Nacho, not Nanzo.
Oh, not Nacho. Yeah, Nacho has. Nacho has sold a boatload of cards. Like he has nothing left.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so
He
like
definitely used to.
yeah, he probably found out the way to win in Rivals and was like, I'm out. Yeah, Bonanzo, how many games can you play because you won a limited? I haven't got my 5 streak yet. Does anyone want to throw the next match to me so I can get my 5, by the way? Nanzo, how many tickets do you have?
I've won 5. For everybody wondering, I've won 5 in a row.
Yeah, has Keith won 3 yet? Because I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't think you should be able to be higher than me with a lower streak.
What?
I don't think you should be higher than me on the leaderboard without winning 5 in a row.
Well, give me one more match and I will.
I think it's bullshit that somehow.
Well, here's the issue, Laird, is like I literally can't play any matches. So I heard the Nigeria cap was 190.
190, yeah.
I was like, oh my god. Let me see what else is coming out today. See if I can even play anything else. So I can't really play the Brighton one.
I don't even know what it is today. Hold on, I got to click the view more because. Okay, so this next. Oh, there's one in 28 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
Burgos. There's no way I have cards from that one.
I have cards. I have cards from every game the rest of the day until tonight of whatever the hell those teams are league they're in. I don't know.
I don't either.
But anyways,
let's go.
I could probably play the Brighton one. I told Nanzo I gotta like look up Nanzo's cards and see like when I can play a match because otherwise I'm just gonna get pounded by him.
So Blue Tomato. So this is the problem. So Blue Tomato said you could play every game with commons. The problem is that if you have a ton of cards, including one that you should be playing, then you have to play pro. You can't choose the common version of your pro card.
Correct. Like currently, so if I play what?
Just sell your cards.
Yeah, if I need to sell all my cards so I can play every game and not have to worry about it.
Yep.
I have cards in the Leganes Burgos game. I have cards in the Brighton game, including cards that you'd probably want to play, but not.
I was gonna say, don't you have a gross super rare?
Yeah, so I'd have to go buy cards for this slate.
Yeah, go. Well, let's finish here so you can go do that.
No, because I'm not going to do that because I don't think my cards are great. Like I cannot play
better cards. That's the point.
No, I'm not incentivized. I just need to sell them. No, I'm not going to buy them. I'm going to go sell them so that I can go play common. What are you talking about? I'm going to go play common where I know I'm on an even playing field and I can just use my skill to win, Laird.
Sean, it's not even.
Also, I will say if people did bring that up, it is actually true. The most skillful version right now is the common game because common game is the only one where you definitely cannot be at an advantage on someone. And it's purely based on your what?
Like you don't have an advantage card wise.
Yeah, you are on the even playing field as well. Else, so it's purely skill based in terms of lineup building. Yeah. I would bet if I definitely. Oh, Nanzo doesn't have any Brighton cards. Maybe I do got to look at the Brighton game a little bit. But the skill level in the commons, like I would probably guess I would win 60 to 70% of common ones. But I also know like when I can play. Well, no, actually, because I went into the Pranksy match. I was such a disadvantage yesterday in reality.
I think that once the ELOs start to kind of get figured out, I think they really should have a maximum number of times that you can play someone within a time frame. Like you shouldn't have to play Nanzo 5 times out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I will. But Nanzo's never beat me in arena, so
Nanzo also says he's got plenty of cards. It's tickets he doesn't have.
Oh, you have 0 tickets, Nanzo? Uh-oh.
Nanzo, I'll sell you 20 tickets right now.
That could be bad news for you, Nanzo. I could be coming up the leaderboard for you. Yeah.
Is there anyone on the leaderboard that you want to get ahead of more than Nanzo?
I don't care about I want to be ahead of everyone on the leaderboard, but it's not possible. Actually, that's not true. It's possible.
That's not true at all.
I would have to crank out referrals to like my dog, my mom, my wife, my baby.
So you know what the best part of that is, Sean?
Huh?
You don't have to mention crypto at all.
I don't. I can just like send an email to my baby and be like, "Hey, you're playing," and he's literally just shit himself, so he can't choose anything differently, anyways.
Disappointed he doesn't have one yet.
It's coming. Just wait. Just when you see me have a boatload of Rivals tickets, you know. But no, I mean, it's just like it's got to be a little bit better. Nanzo, what am I behind you? Like 20 now?
You are 20 points exactly behind him. I happen to be looking at it.
Let me go look at the Well, I got to go check. Nanzo's probably lying to me. He probably has a ticket, and
he doesn't. I was gonna say he doesn't need 20 tickets. He just needs one.
He needs one. He probably has the Brighton God's team or something. Let's see. Yeah, Nanzo has freaking. Oh no, he's got Ansu Fati. Does Ansu Fati even play? No.
I don't know.
Actually, yeah, Nanzo doesn't really have the best cards for this slate because he doesn't even have a Pascal Gross. You're lacking, Nanzo. You're lacking. No tickets, no good cards.
When does that game start? That Leganes game start? I'm going to play that one.
Nanzo wants me to come play the Atletico
2:30
game. I would rather die.
I'm going to cut this off so that I can get into this here. I will say that despite this Rivals being made as like hey, you can make a lineup in 2 seconds all on your phone, blah, blah, blah. I think it's a significant disservice if you are playing. Like, it's impossible to build a lineup of two teams you don't know about.
Yeah.
Just like poking around on your phone.
No, that's not true. I just made the lineup in the Brighton game, and I don't watch a second of Brighton or.
Yeah, but you know enough of those because you're Pascal Gross. You know who would play.
No, I don't. I literally why didn't you know anything other than Pascal Gross?
That's what I mean. You know Pascal Gross. I'm saying this next game, I know nothing about these two teams.
No, so here's my issue is that, I meant to say this. So once you know what you're doing, a lot of people, you can look at the game right away and know if it's a game where there's a big edge in the lineup construction. Some of the common ones I played, I was like, I have such huge edges, and then people would roll over the lineup and I had such huge edges. The issue, which is not fun for some people, is a lot of the time the big edge is not playing the goal-dependent striker who could lose even if he gets a decisive. But
giving it away.
Yeah, Daniel Cooper said he just waits for lineup select starters and whose little colorful craft looks the best. Honestly, you can a lot of the time just you can just look and know who the best plays are in a game and then see how they fit and what you realistically need to do. Did you see Black and I talking about it was the Hamburg slate the other day, or one of the which team is your boy Marvin on?
Carl Ruscher?
Carl Ruscher. So Carl Ruscher, there was a 25 center back on Carl Ruscher, and they were like a 1.5 goal favorite. And he literally made it so you could play everybody you would want to play in the game, and Black didn't play him. And so anyways, but I'm saying it's one of those things, if you look at it and you once you start getting reps in and you know what you're doing, you're just going to open and you're going to see this right away and be like, yep, that makes it a lot more easy to play the Marvins and the Nebels or whoever you wanted to play.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to stop this so I can go build some Rivals lineups and try to catch up here now that it's during the week and I can be inside. So thank you, everybody, for coming. If you could please subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. And if there's any other Rival stuff you want Sean and I to discuss, we'll do that. And then, me and Gator Guy are back tomorrow. Wednesday, me and Chani. Thursday, me and Andy. Friday, probably just me. So stay tuned. Good luck with all your Rivals lineups.